everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Noor. Lovely to see all of you guys again. So today I am going to do a book review, and the book that I am going to talk about is And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. So this is Khaled Hosseini's third and latest book after A Thousand Splendid Suns, and it tells the story of these two siblings, one named Abdullah and one named Pari. Yes, Pari like Paris without the S, living in Afghanistan. Abdullah is basically Pari's elder brother, and he took care of Pari ever since she was a little girl. One fine day, Abdullah and Pari has to travel to Kabul across the desert with their father to meet somebody, and they are not sure of the fate that awaits them in Kabul, and the story just kind of kicks off from there. I truly enjoyed this book. I have read both of Khaled Hosseini's books, The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns, and I truly enjoy his writing. He writes very beautifully, and I like the topic that he writes about, which is mainly the situation that is going on in Afghanistan or in Kabul, and the people or the characters that surrounds that situation. That is what intrigues me in reading Khaled Hosseini's books. It's always revolving around what is going on in Kabul and what is going on in Afghanistan, and the people that are Afghans and how they are related to the war and how the war affected them in their country. I feel like And the Mountains Echoed is very fresh. Usually when you go into Khaled Hosseini's books, you would have a dual perspective. In this book, there are multiple perspectives, and he kind of experiments with different kind of narratives. It's first-person narrative and third-person narrative. Abdullah and Pari is essentially the two main protagonists in this book. Over time, we are also introduced to all these other characters that is relating to Abdullah and Pari, and we go from their parents all the way to the generation right after them. So it's their children and their children's children. At certain points of time, we are also introduced to characters that you might find a little bit unnecessary in the first place. Characters that are not related to their lives. But what I like about this book, or what I like about how Khaled Hosseini writes that kind of characters, is that there are certain characters in this book that is being written or being described or introduced in the perspective of another character. From time to time, you will come across this particular character and you would think, why is this person related and how is this person so important? Until towards the end of that person's perspective that you realize that he is actually talking about another character which is related to Abdullah and Pari. I find that very interesting and very new from Khaled Hosseini's writing. He doesn't do that in his two other books, so I find that this is absolutely different compared to his two other previous books. So you can slowly see how these characters are related to each other, and eventually these characters kind of come together and intertwine towards the end of the book. There are a lot of themes going on in this book. There is relationship themes, so sibling relationship, parents' relationship with their children. There are also heavier themes or heavier topics about what it's like to be an Afghan after the whole war. Usually in Khaled Hosseini's writing, or in Khaled Hosseini's books, he writes about what is going on in Kabul, and he will write about the Taliban and what is going on surrounding them. But in this book, he kind of takes it a little further. He talks about what happens after the war and what happens after 2002, where US Army goes into Afghanistan and sort of made Taliban retreat. And he also talks about the newer generation of Afghans that is living outside of Afghanistan, so those whose parents fled the country to settle in either the United States or in France or in anywhere else in the world. And what I like is that we don't only get the perspective of the people in Afghanistan, but also the younger generation, the newer generation that has been living outside of Afghanistan, and we can see how they felt about their country, how some of them, even though they are living outside of Afghanistan, they are still very attached to their country, and how some of them actually went back to Afghanistan and to Kabul to help their homeland. We can also see these people that left Afghanistan to settle into other countries and to have a better life, how they kind of bring up their kids, and what's it like to be true to your heritage and trying to blend in and live in a society that is very different from their homeland. I truly enjoyed this. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I feel like this can be quite a hit and miss to those who have enjoyed his 2 other books, mainly because it is very different. which is great because it's very fresh. You will expect multiple perspectives, and some of it might be annoying to you, mainly because initially the characters might not make sense to you and it might not be necessary, but eventually I think the whole idea that Khaled Hosseini tries to get from this book is to show the perspective of so many people, not only the people from Kabul, not only the Afghans, but people that actually are in Afghanistan to help the country or help to rebuild the country. And he is trying to see how all of these people are some way affected with what is going on in Afghanistan. And it's not only that, but all these people have one thing in common, which is being human and having relationships with other human beings. So it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter your nationality, we're all here for one cause and one common good, and that is to help build other people's lives. I really love this book. It's absolutely heartwarming, and I recommend you guys reading this. If you have read both of his books, then prepare for something totally fresh and different. Prepare your tissues, you are going to feel so much feels from this book. So share with me in the comments down below if you have read And the Mountains Echoed and what you thought about it. And share with me if you plan to read it or if you plan to read any of Khaled Hosseini's writing. Thumbs up this video if you love watching this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more book related content from moi. Until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Chill out! Yep, it's better. I'm gonna waste so much time. Oh my goodness. Okay.